How's everyone doing? I wanted to make this a quick video about the LG's new 2024 all-in-one washer combo with heat pump technology. This is the second, to my knowledge, all-in-one 27-inch washer dryer with built-in heat pump instead of the condensing unit you typically see. I believe this is the second brand after the GE Profile all-in-one heat pump model. This one is quite a bit shorter. I believe it sticks out more in the back. The LG Profile sits to about here. I think it's about, oh gosh, it's about another foot taller. So depending on what you like. For me, I decided to do a little bit more research to figure out who else makes a heat pump model aside from the GE Profile. And it just so happens that when I started the research, this machine just came out. The model number on this is WM6998HBA. So this is a very, very low usage, energy usage machine. I have it all hooked up already. Make sure that when you do hook it up, it does not come with new lines. Oops, I just leaned up against it. I'll demonstrate it later, but yeah, it just turned itself on. So it does not come with new hoses, so make sure you do get new ones. When you do get new ones, make sure you flush them out. Typically, you hook one up, and then you just put the other end into the standpipe, turn it on, let the water drain for like a second or whatever, and you just flush them out. Then you just hook them up in the back. You hook up at the very top. As you can see, I'm not using the 240 volt anymore, only the 120. So this machine does run only on 120. I believe it's a 12 amp machine at 120 volts. The detergent, your fabric softener, all that goes in here. This is like your typical, I think this looks very much like their condensing model, but I mean, it's, in my opinion, this is way nicer. I did run 2 loads in this thing so far. I received it on the 25th of January. I wanted to make this video so that more people like me who are wondering about this machine can take a look at it and see that real people are actually buying it. Yeah, I believe there's a lot of videos on the GE Profile out there, but not so much real people videos on this machine. So as you may or may not have known, this machine runs off of 120 volts. It is 100% ventless. So as you can see, I removed the vent. It's an all-in-one 27-inch, weighs about 260 pounds, uses a heat pump, and really that's all there's to it. It's got all sorts of AI wash technology, like it has these little wash and dry. This is like predetermined type, AI wash and dry, normal. Here, I'll just go over these for you. These are all the different so yes, you can dry only. Yep, and then as you're changing it, you can kind of see which options activate what. So what are my first impressions? Beautiful piece. Arguably, I also like the GE, the way it looks. Just for my purposes, I wanted to take advantage of the fact that I no longer need a double stacker, and I live in a condo, so this machine pretty much gave me all this extra room where I can now put some shelving in here and use this room for storage. So really important for those with condos. Also, just so happens that I did buy a Panasonic fan, and being in a condo, this 5-inch ducting goes down to a 4 that then goes into a concrete cavity that who knows what that goes into, and then it runs a long length, which becomes even more restrictive. So what I'm going to do is tap in to the dryer as well. Used to have a booster pump here. So I'm going to basically use the original venting for the bathroom fan, plus I'm going to use the dryer venting just to give this machine a little bit more breathing power. So yeah, so what are my first impressions? I got a little bit of load in there. I always do this. I throw all my dirty clothes in there, as long as it's not wet. So what are my first impression? Amazing. So what's cool about a heat pump as well is that unlike a condensing model, now I don't have too much experience with them except for maybe once or twice with a GE, is they dry your clothes, but they're not super hot. Like when you are thinking about using a dryer that's vented, you're thinking, oh, it's going to create all this heat, all my clothing is going to be nice and warm, as opposed to condensing that it's just kind of dry. Well, with a heat pump, to me, like from what I've seen, it does the exact same thing as a vented model. With a heat pump, your clothes are actually super hot and dry, and the drum's hot, and everything around it is hot. So what it does is it burns off, like I've had several washes, like there's no moisture that builds up anywhere in the drum, which is nice. So when you're thinking about antibacterial, you don't have to worry about a front load washer with an all-in-one heat pump having bacteria build up around, or mold build up around this area. Because when it comes out, guys, like it is like this thing is hot, drum's hot to that you can't even touch it pretty much. Well, and there's zero moisture built up in here because it all evaporated away. So all in all, I did 2 cycles. I did about almost a half load, like say 40% load. It took about an hour and a half to do a full wash and dry, and the clothes was absolutely dry. I did a 20% load, and it was washed and dry in about an hour and 20 minutes. I'm gonna try a full load as well, and maybe make a quick video ad or just post it in the comment section. But I'm confident that typically what it does is it takes about 2 hours advertised, and it shows about 2 hours 14 minutes. When you put in a full load, it does a load sensing when it first goes around, and it'll tell you 2 hours 14 minutes typically for a full load. I am confident this thing will dry it, just because from what I've seen, what it does with a half load in an hour and a half, it was just absolutely dry. Only drawback that I've seen so far is, and I mean, I don't mind it too much, to be honest, but the only drawback is that so the lint, of course, collects over here, which is nice. It's got this ratcheting effect. You push this down and it kind of pulls out all the lint, and then you can just throw it out. Like, I don't know if I can do this one-handed, but give me 1 second. Maybe you can see it. Yeah, you can just pull it out and then you just put it back in. So this is easy. No dust gets trapped in there, or the heat exchanger or what have you in there. It's pretty nice. That all works. The only issue is that it also, because I guess it's used as a dryer, there's like a fine mist of lint that's all around when you're done. Well, it's not wet, obviously, it's super dry, but it's like it collects there. I mean, you can look at it as a good thing. Less goes into the top, so less work for the filter. But what you need to do is like take a rag and just wipe it off, and then maybe wipe it off in there as well. It doesn't say to do it. Probably nothing will happen. I don't think that lint can make it into the washer if you don't wipe it off during a wash cycle. So like say you dried everything and then you went for wash cycle number 2 and you didn't wipe it off. I wonder what would happen. Like, would it dissolve some of that lint and throw it into your new clothing? I don't know. To me, it's not a big deal. I just use a rag and just maybe a Swiffer duster, and you can just wipe it off. But that's the one thing. It is fully AI. It'll tell you on your phone when it's done. You can even go for another wash on your phone, which is not needed. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty nice washer. Leave me a like, please, and if you have any questions, leave it in the comment section and I'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. I've never done a washer, dryer, or any kind of an appliance review. I'm mostly into cars, automotive, tuning, things like that, but this is cool, guys. Like, if you live in a condo, the amount of room you free up is just amazing. And I was thinking of doing a heat pump for AC here, and I didn't want to deal with a circuit breaker or any of that. So I'm just gonna probably tap into the 240 that's already there and run it over through, and then probably go out of there and into the patio. But that's my condo, guys. So that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's all she is. Oh, I do live in Canada, so if you guys are wondering how was I able to get this model, it's only available in the US. It just came out in 2024. I bought it in the US and I drove it down here. So yeah, a lot of effort for this machine. I did not want to cut corners. I didn't want to settle for a condensing model. There was no guidance from LG as to when it's going to come out in Canada. The LG profile has been out since like June of last year, who knows, maybe even earlier, and there's been no signs of it in Canada. As a matter of fact, the GE came out at like $1,700, then they bumped it up to $2,400. You know, had I bought it then, it would have been cheaper. This model just came out for $19.99 US. So not a bad deal. I had some US cash, so I just went down to the States, picked it up. Had to pay a little more tax because you pay tax at the border, Canadian tax, plus I had to pay Washington tax and then our Canadian tax on top of the Washington tax plus the price. But you know what? All in all, whatever. I get to be the first one in Canada to have this machine, posted on YouTube. For those of you who are obsessed with having an all-in-one that actually works, performs amazingly, like, to me this has been incredible, like the way that it performs, and I expected nothing less out of a heat pump system. It is well worth it. I'm going to start building on the shelving, and yeah, catch you guys later. Thank you.